I'm thinking about this, by the way. This question. It's an interesting question. So let's go back to Tosfos and the Ran. How do you want to answer this?
Which question?
The question is that so when it comes to Shover Chav, remember you have the Gemara in Shabbos and the Gemara in Eruvin, right? So the Gemara in Shabbos says Shover Chavis is to be mutter. The Gemara in Eruvin by the Shover says you can't, you're not able to access the Eruv, right? If the cabinet or the migdal is sealed, right? Which would seem to imply what? That breaking that will be aser. But how could that be if we know Shover Chavis is mutter? So the Tosfos want to give an answer of mustaki, that the case of Shover Chavis is mustaki, the kli is a weaker kli, whereas by the case of what's it called of the migdal is a strong kli, which would be every kli. And there's normative kalim are non-mustaki, but if it's designed in a weak way, then it's mutter to break it open, or at least the question of breaking it open becomes an issue. But the Ran want to say it's a question of kli gadol and kli katan. No, the Ritva says. I really defined the Ritva. Yeah, maybe we define it now. But the Ritva says. Where is it? He says like this. He says. One second. He says at the end. He says ve'enu nachon be'enai lachlok b'davar zeh ben migdal gadol migdal katan. Right. He says he doesn't buy this differentiation between big and small. Rather, he says ela kol migdal shel eitz came in shenaset derech binyan. Right. And this is key. It's rather any kli that's made out of wood that's made, I guess, structurally in a sound way. Right. Ushvarav omdim l'sakein. Right. Chashiva shviraso stira manas livnos. In other words, it's almost like let's take a barrel, okay? I guess so. So if the barrel's made in a way where it's comprised together various parts and then glued together, but it's done in a way where if you knock one part, knock like that one part out, you can easily replace it. Okay? If that's how it's made, then it will be a problem. That's stira. Ma'asheinikin mechavis sheina chazara, right? Shafil hi gedola ein b'shvirusea mishum stira. But by chavis, like our case, once you break it open, you can't. It's not made to be repaired.
He's completely different.
So he wants to say his distinction is the nature of the kli made to be what they call repaired or not. If it's something that I mean, let's just go back to the Ran for a second. So how do you define gadol and katan? So what do we say by Tosfos? We say by Tosfos that what does he hold?
If it's the structure is a problem, so the more like the weaker the structure is, at a certain point it's designated as a one-time use. Or not a kli yet, then you have to designate.
You see, that's something that I think that's the issue in order to define this whole area, which is that forget the specific thing by Tosfos. What's the phenomenon of Shover Chavis versus the phenomenon of migdal? Right, the phenomenon by Shover Chavis is the phenomenon of migdal is what's migdal? Migdal, we know it's what is it before we break it? What is it before we break it? Before I relate to the object, what is it?
Nothing.
What?
That's the question.
No.
It is
No.
By mustaki?
By migdal, not by mustaki.
It's a kli.
It's a kli. In other words, okay, someone said before about the issue of makav patish. Think about it. Makav patish means that now that I've made a hole in this thing, now the shem kli emerges, which means that beforehand was it defined as a kli? No. Right? So my action. No, that would
functional kli
can't be
because
if it's already a kli. No, the shem kli. The shem kli. Stam. Why? Because in the other cases, the whole issue was binyan and stira, right? So stira can only apply to that which already is defined as a kli. That's what they're saying. In other words, in the case of the migdal, it has the shem kli. So since it has a shem kli, anything I do to it will now be defined as stira or binyan if I build it up. But stira, I'm breaking it. I'm breaking something that is defined as kli. Whereas by the case of the chavis and the grogeris, it doesn't have a shem kli. That's why it's makav patish. It's through my making a hole in it that now the shem kli emerges. You're going to say right. So the answer would have to be that it's makav patish because you're making it. Or they do say kli chadash. You're making a new kli. I can hear that. Okay, but the main point I'm trying to bring out though is that if for stira to work, for it to be din stira, you're going to have to say the thing is defined as a kli beforehand, for sure, right? So the machlokas and Ran and Tosfos and the Ritva is all going to hinge on what feature of the vessel gives it its shem kli prior to my engaging it. Okay, prior to my ever engaging it, right? So Tosfos is going to say the structure, right? So what's the Ran going to say? He's making a good point. You're right. There's in order to define this correctly, you're going to have to say that the small thing, the small vessel, when you make the hole in it, defines it now as a kli, or that's the question whether it can be defined as a kli or not, right? But by the migdal, right? If you're going to say binyan and stira apply, then you wouldn't call that a kli. But then what is it? So let me put it this way. In other words, you're going to have to create a feature, which is I'm okay with. You're going to have to create some feature that tells me gadol versus. Well, I think that's the reason why the Riffa didn't like it. But you have to make up some cat. In other words, there is a shir brought down about what gadol means. Like gadol is at a certain point, right? But what changes? That's what I want to say. Like what's changed at that point?
Visibility of the kli.
I mean, you can't just say storage per se, because why can't something large store something? Right? It's a tough question. Back to what you were saying. It says miu kisharya dafka b'kli katan de lo shayach be binyan nestira. About b'kli gadol lo. Meaning that by kli gadol there is an idea of binyan nestira. Take it for what it's worth. In other words, maybe you can say this. Maybe you can say that by a small kli, what does a small kli mean? A small kli means that in general,
Specialized.
Okay, in general, right, specialized, right? It has a specific use.
It's limited
Okay,
to a certain amount of items that can be fit.
oh, so that's the thing. Part of its size tells you that it's limited. Now you're right. If I'm storing little tiny beads, then it becomes relativistic because I can store 1 million tiny little beads in this and 10 million in something bigger. But let's just think normally. No, I just think normally though. When it comes to like a wine bottle is this, right? You don't store a wine bottle in a shed. You store a wine bottle in this, right? But maybe that's the thing. Maybe the thing is this. When you have now, this may sound counterintuitive. It may sound counterintuitive. But I think it actually makes sense. If once you say that this thing has, if you limit its function, right, by limiting its function to one thing, then its definition doesn't emerge until you interact with it. Whereas if the thing is defined as storage per se, let's take a shed. A shed stores. It's not a question of what it is storing, rather it is storage. That is the shem kli that exists even before you interact with it. That's what I was thinking at home. I agree. The weakness in this approach really, that's the part that bothers me. The weakness in the approach lies in if ascribing function to size. We're trying to take function and make it a part of size. Once you do that, you're right. If you have like a mammoth guitar case or a bass case that's only there to fit a bass, so even though technically it's big, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Is that game over?
I'm not sure. The problem in this whole sugya is that I won't call it a problem, but I'm saying we end up passing like Tosfos, which is very strange.
How are you passing both?
Just read. You'll see. Passing like Tosfos. Tur or Chaim, Hilchos Shabbos.
Ein binyan v'stira kalim. Shein binyan v'hani mili. Wow. Sheinu binyan mamish. Don't chavish shenish bro v'devuk shivra, and you would attach the pieces.
Bezepes.
With tar.
Right.
Yachol lishbar, then you could break it. Leak of mash b'tocho. Ubad kavim the neck of yafa.
Uvad. So again, that's bringing the mission into it. No, it's uvad shlo yichavim the neck of yafa.
Shalei lepesa, because then that'll be nobody.
Right.
They can't have a like matak and mana, then it's not patish. Aval imhu yishleim, if it was complete, asr afilu shvaro, even to break it, afilu nakaf ba'alma, even just to put a hole in it, asr link of bow. I think that's going back on a
Mechadash.
yeah.
Now,
that's going back on the other kli, the mistachi kli, right?
yeah, although he hasn't played his card yet, but yes.
Afilu yesh per nakaf chadash ubala archiva, so even if you have a new hole and you can't even widen.
Right.
If you had a hole and you close it up,
so he's talking about the case of a wine barrel. Okay, so we don't worry about that because we're not going to find a case. The wine barrel case was that, I mean, you should know this halacha l'maisa, but it's never going to come up. Because you can't put a stopper in even if, let's say there was a hole here, right? But this area is the reason why you have the stopper in there is not for the contents, but rather to keep the integrity of the hole in place. Unless you have the vessel in place.
So it's like part of the kli.
Right, exactly. It becomes part of the kli. You understand? Like, let's say there was like a stopper here. Right, but what was holding the physical kli together? If I took it out, it would crumble. That's different. That's a problem because that's part of the kli. So there is a point where the stopper can be defined as part of the kli. Okay, but the problem is, if you've only had the tour, we wouldn't know what to do with a lot of cases today. That's why you need the achronim, like cans or Coke bottles, things like that. How would you know from the tour what you could do?
So the question is, what did they do with the tours?
They didn't have those kind of things. They had barrels. They didn't have Coke cans.
Well, Coke can, but they probably small.
They had wine bottles, yeah. The flask's not a problem because flask already has a cork in it. But they didn't make hermetically sealed cans.
Right.
You know what I mean? There were no canned beans or formula or things like that. Okay, go to the Shulchan Aruch.
Ein binyan stira kalim. V'hani melei she'ein binyan mamish. Kam chaves. Agav. She'ein mechuzak. Two definite.
See, that's more of an idea that it's not a binyan. That a chavis lacks a binyan. But okay, fine.
Arbaim saw.
Oh, okay.
Can't hold for you saw. And shenish b'v'divik shirab zebes. You possibly both.
Just keep going. Yachol.
Yachol Lishbar, you're able to, not Yachol, it's Yachol Lishbar.
Right.
That's much double, you're able to bring it and take it to the side. Eventually, Kabbalah Nakfa Yafa, she'll lock the pass up for an opening. Then Cain, Habilim Takamana, same thing. Abalim Shlema, also Lishbar, Phil Ben Chain, also Cleave, a feeling Nakba Alma, also in Kavo Machadish, feeling Yishbar Nakbadish, Imlar Chivo, also if you come to wide and also. Hago, Bavachi, Skavin Lakab.
That's key.
Only if you're having intent to make it wider.
Right.
Like for Imma Yisak and Tkua, Merev Shabbat B'Chavis,
That's important. Now let's say you left like a again, you have a barrel and there's an opening in there and you left your knife in there. Okay, for whatever reason why?
How is it important?
Well, because it's saying that's right. It's not, but you can take it in and out because you're not trying to widen it. Okay. Okay.
Why would that not be?
You're right. It's not that important. Okay.
Why would it be? Why would it not be?
I don't know.
Sick ratio.
Well, he's about to say that.
The doctor showed see a gam kim pamachas mirar yomtov. Alon so be'er yomtov. Also that be sick ratio. Those who neko for pasuk l'chavis. Completion is raw and mutter lethal menu charis. If you're able to take from it charis.
Okay, now skip ahead to the Aruch HaShulchan. Okay.
Why do you choose Boisa?
Good question. I mean, we know it's mikvah. I'm not sure why. I don't know. It's a good question. All right, go to the Aruch HaShulchan. Okay. He throws his hat in the ring. Don't worry about the girl. We'll get back to him.
The mission there, but then that's an Erev made of a cyber Matech. Whenever Matech is an Erev, so I have to read this. It's just Tosfos, right?
No, there's a Vitar Hashas. Lim Sotamim Azeh.
Yeah, but any Yachol Agil Erev.
Ein Sham.
Shahash Takasha. Hayachol Ishpras Medav Little Erev. Kamo Shabar Chavez Little Garis. But Emes B'Yishalmi Sham Omer Al Mishnah Zuda Mishnah Meyer B'Migdal Shalavanim. She Afshir B'Shvira of a Migdal Shal H Shuvra.
B'Notal Erev.
Right.
Right.
Kafta Shabar Chavez Lachol Garis. That sounds like.
Who does that sound like?
Tosfos.
Does it?
But not really. That
Right.
seems to be just a technical difficulty.
I agree. Ein Sham. Delchein Toreach HaYushalmi.
Satam Acher Lahater. Krishal Silan.
Right.
No, he can't hold E Efshir B'Shvir because then what Shachas Heter, like you can't break it. You can't get there.
Right. That's why we'll never be mutter to. No, you can't do it unless you do Shvira. There's no other way to access it unless you break it.
But he's defining a Shvira. Eitz he's not defining a Shvira.
No, but Migdal Sha'et Shover Menotal Eruv Kehach to Shover Sachavis, meaning that it's made in a way where I can't break. The only way, now that the thing is locked in there, the only way I can get in is by breaking.
But by Eitz it's not considered a Shvira. Amr Sham Tamach Lahater Krishasti Lan Gam Shasti Lan Amr and Sham Hachab Migdal Shalavein Maskina. L'chein Tereach Lim Satam Acher. It's got to find another reason. V'zeh Shamar Hachab. B'migdal Shalvein and Lavishim to be Karla as summer came. El Dachak Rushab B'migdal Shalvein ve'ain tit without any cement.
Benam, all right. So it's like loose bricks. Can wear sham.
V'yeshmi Sheteret Starak B'chavishein Kamoso Rav Mutter. The ain steer B'Kalim. Abel Migdal Shugadol B'Kamos B'Dom L'Binyan Lo Tiyushar.
Right. So that's the Ron. So again, so if the migdal was big enough, that's another way of looking at it. He's saying Dom L'Binyan, but what is it about binyan?
Permanent toes.
Kvias? Could be. Alright, now comes the problem. Now look, he says, Siv Zayin, home, no, I'm Rabbi Sina B'alai Tosfos.
I'm Rabbi Sina B'alai Tosfos, the Dr. Kumi Toch Kusha Zu, the Migdal Lo Mar B'chavish Shlema. Fish Shlema Vade Asr Shavar, Mo Migdal, Achmar Mustaki, Lomar Chavish Shvuru Medovka B'Zeves, Chemukila Shas B'Beya. Rabbi Lazar the Polag Sham B'Meidal, the argues on the tower, Ayin Sham, and Emer the Gamar Ban Tzvichana Lahachu Kimna. We need this. Now
here comes the problem. The Chakas of Rosh. V'chein Paska Tova Shulchan Aruch Tzefalef. Now listen to what he says. V'lo. See, that's what bothers him. Why does the Torah not bring down the Ran?
Right, which is a lot more makel.
Right. Why does he go with Tosfos? Okay. V'lo Yidati.
Can you do Milsa Drabanan? Lamalo Vidas Ram Ran Lahakal. Project I'm Yishalmi Kane who Das Rashi Barav Shikasu Shover on the Muschavas Vishain Makalkal Shemisser. Akalashano, Clonal Hain hit Yer Bachavas, Kadeshiachal. Meaning he's saying Rashi didn't make any of the Ron. He didn't make any, he just said a lot of break Chavas.
Right, became a Rashi Barav Matir and Lamalovia Daitam Cloud. Sorry, that's a big question. That's a big question. And what's bothering Aruch HaShulchan is why does the Torah jump on? I mean, he doesn't ask the question I would ask, which is normally the Torah usually likes to paskin like the Rambam. but why does he not bring in any semblance of the Ran? In other words, why do we pass him like Tosfos and we don't think about the Ran? Why I brought the Gra in? You don't have to read it.
Ask that question.
No, the Gra really says we should hold like
Oh, he bought something like that.
the Ran. As the Gra holds, we should really hold like the Ran. We shouldn't like Tosfos. This Mustaki business.
Which one's more chomer? Oh, the
Yes. Okay. And just skip down to where he says Vihine Shamati. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 lines from the top. Vihine Shamati Sheish Noagim.
הנה שמעתי שיש נוהגים לשבר ראש הבקבוק כמו יין או שער משכין אם אין יכולים לפתוח החוסם. Now I have heard that people do break back bottles when they can't open it. Vidas Torah Shulchan Aruch Aser. Amnon lady is daiti ein legarbem. You can't protest them.
Protest too much. You can't like degrade them, right?
Should ladas harbim rosenu heter gomer. Of course.
Now that's astonishing because that means according to the Aruch HaShulchan, the Aruch HaShulchan is telling you that if the guy opened up a bottle on Shabbos, right, like a glass Coke bottle.
He broke it, not made a new hole, and smashed it.
Well, it's saying he couldn't get in through the top.
Yes,
yeah, he smashed it. Right. He poked. If a guy made a nice, okay, let's use a can, okay, a sealed can. All right. If a guy took a nice sealed can and he made a hole in it, right, used a can opener to make a hole in it.
No, that would be knockoff. Yeah.
So why would that be a problem?
Because then it's for sure.
Not according to Ron.
Yeah. It's only
Fine. Okay. Right. I'm sorry. Right. You make a jagged hole in it. Right. It should be perfectly fine. Right. So the point is that even according to Aruch HaShulchan, you go see this big jump on as we get the contemporary poskim. And according to Aruch HaShulchan, there should be no problem whatsoever. I shouldn't say that. A person has a right to be makel like the Ran, even though the Torah Shulchan Aruch passing like Tosfos. You have the right to be makel like the Ran, right? Okay.
Right.
And he says even.
Isn't that weird though?
What? Well, actually, before we even do that, let's just speculate for a second. The Chazon Ish is one of the earlier guys who starts giving us an insight of what we do today. Now, one of the cases these guys love talking about are sardine cans.
Why?
Okay.
Again,
So you have containers filled with oil or with fish.
I assume ma'ase barzel, which are made out of
Metal.
Ma'ase is what?
Now, I don't know. I can't read that by the way.
Huh?
I think it means from the material of barzal. V'ritzufa mikol tzad. That's the key line. What's ritzufa mikol tzad mean?
Continuous concept.
Meaning what?
Attached, fully attached.
Meaning they're fully attached. Meaning they're basically sealed. Sealed cans. Okay.
This kotchen v'sakin is a ace.
Is that a tough?
Ot me'ase, no mitase, mitas.
Yeah, mitas. At atas she'ala pesach, which would mean the ring that's at the top, like the entranceway.
Niradlodami keseret megufa. Those seem the same as Ramona Gufa. Deshari, which would be
Deshari.
permitted.
Right. Skip down to the hacha.
Dacha merutzaf
Be'ever.
be'ever.
Right. Ubedil.
Deal.
Chibur ikra klei. So what's he saying?
It's as if it's part of the kli because it's connected.
Right. So it's one entity.
Didn't it catch about like a glue? Like a
What do you mean?
Han shein kan soser klal shapsichatika and v'sasam kol sad lav klihu.
Okay.
Did
So
he not just contradict himself?
just keep going. Ukshoslo pesach nasa klei. But when you make the pesach, what do you now do?
Makes
Makes the kli. So you can't say stira applied to it before. Stira can only work if the thing has a shame kli prior to it. But if this thing has no shame kli. But when does it have a shame kli? When I pop a hole in it.
So he's pasking not like Mustaki.
Right. We makom a suffix bazeh.
Baruch Masam v'zeh hu sh'b'shein dato al kupsa elo timash b'tochel l'zarka ba'ashba.
Okay, listen to what he says, okay? This is already starting into modern thinking. In other words, what's the guy's das? He makes what is he doing? His das is, he wants the stuff that's inside and he's going to chuck the clean to the garbage. It's disposable. V'zeh chashiv kishover chavis lito. Okay? Ukametes rosha b'sayef.
Kotem lahariach ukashover chusman shevakalim.
Right, all those other types of cases. Okay, so stop. He's going to take Mustaki up in a second. So what's the Chazon Ish saying? The Chazon Ish is saying is that if the kli was one that he would use to store, right? So then the moment, like let's say it's a big vat of oil, the moment he opens it up, at that point it requires a shame kli, and that becomes a problem. But let's say he was going to dump out the contents and chuck it, and chucking is the key thing, by the way. He's going to throw the thing away. So what's halacha? It's going to be mutter at this point, right?
Right.
Go on.
That's on cans.
But feel das toast is lo hutter elam Mustaki avol shlema aser mishum stira hachol shari den kan steer klal. Amyam okay well amyam yesh la aser mishum
I'm not sure how he knows that's not true, but whatever.
Maybe he'll try to make it opening. Beis Olam and Gimel b'Mustaki. Bahar b'nei Adam datam ala kupsa l'shamish ba lahaniach ba boris o misan
Masmerim v'yotze b'zeh.
Maybe he'll use it with him. Then he also
So he says, but the thing is, and again, that's why this is where things get very hard when you're a contemporary posek. Back then, what would a lot of people do?
Keep it firm.
He would reuse the kli. Let me give you a perfect example. Okay, we don't do as much today, but if you look at the early she does a lot by these instant coffee metal containers. They get reused for people put pens in them. All right, I remember that when I was younger.
Cookie jars.
Right. So you'll use an empty coffee container as to store cookies. Point is that a lot of people, what do? They don't throw it away. They'll reuse it. And then you have a problem, right?
Or if you leave the fish in.
That sounds eerily like the potato chip bag. If I open up a potato chip bag, but I only take out half the contents and I leave the other half in, well, haven't I created a kli for storage?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Right? V'nichole b'shimusha.
V'nichole b'shimusha. He wants it to use. Lo damil hatis rosh r'sayv. Dasim psuchum gefes. Meguf vein meguf chibar. The meguf is not connected. V'chazis.
V'tazas gufa.
Gufa kilko v'binyan. Kilko and not binyan. Ohafa kol denichole b'shimush kli didei chashiv pasov. But here, anytime he wants me, he's saying it's not like megufa because it was connected before. So anytime he wants a shimush, it counts as pasach.
Correct.
After the af bedadil zorker in chashbin in kvanaso.
And maybe you'll say that even
if he really had that sort, we don't care about his kvanah. Lo matzino heter shvira el b'yesh l'chavis pesach unless there's already the opening. Now with geshem chol b'fnim v'sasam kol tzad, but it's something that's closed on all sides. Kol shos lo pesach chashav binyan.
So which see now he's a little trapped because by the chavis at least, even though the chavis is technically sealed, but it's made to be opened, right? But how can you say that by a can? See what he's struggling with here? Is a can made to be opened? Well, we know we want to get the contents inside, but there's nothing in the structure of the can that says to you, open it. In fact, what's the raya? You need what to open it?
Can opener.
A certain tool, a special tool has to be created to open up the can, right? So it's not made to generally be opened. Try opening it without a can opener; it's impossible, right? Okay.
Maybe shover tzarich lizard shul lifos in the neck and make sure not to make the hole nice. V'achal shemachlef guf batos.
Guf atos l'tzuras kli b'chol shvirash osa chashav kenekav yafa, right? V'lo gar menekva b'tzida da'aser.
All right. Zachal l'davar osiyos al posen charanas.
Right. All right. Skip to the next paragraph.
The kufsa shal shemen v'osen nekaf l'taftef.
Hashemen. Okay, so that's another interesting case. Let's say, what is he trying to do?
He's trying to drain the oil.
Like with the slow drip. So he makes a tiny hole. Okay.
Right. Can't do that. Space in the coven. According,
someone asked that before. That's a common thing. In the old days, when they used to make cans of juice, okay, like these big 2-liter cans of juice. So what do you do? When I was in school, they did this. When I was in high school, when I was in elementary school, they take those old school can openers. They pop a hole in the front, and they pop a hole in the back.
Yeah.
Why?
To get airflow.
Right. Okay. So let's say you want to do that.
why?
To get to,
Nice
if you just
flow.
pop a hole in the front, it's not going to flow out well. So you pop a hole on both sides at the top of the can. When you pour it out, as you're pouring out, air it enters.
It helps it flow.
Helps the flow.
How?
Just look it up online. Go on. I gotta go in like a minute, so go.
Dang.
Kevan sheyitchol Hashem and derech nekev hasheni. Yesh b'zeh chiyuv chatas. You can't do that. D'chol nekev mishtamish lahachnis l'hotzi. The zimnin demashma b'nekev zev zimnin b'nekev hasheni. That's a big problem. So what is he saying? He's saying that. Think about what he's saying. If you make 2 holes in a can, and you're saying one is to exit and one is to get air to come in, you're over the Isser D'Oraisa. Why? Because each one does both.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So those old school cans.